Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. I'm just finishing up, man, with the grind. Sunday grind, baby. Just got it in at the gym. Arm workout, calisthenics, man. If you following me for the workout motivation and inspiration, man, we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep going. Y'all know the motto, man. Just don't stop working till you get to where you're trying to be at in life, baby. Let's keep hustling. Let's keep grinding. Let's stay committed. Let's stay disciplined, man. That's what it's all about. One day at a time, baby. But quick correctional officer video. I've been getting a lot of people, that's been asking me about working as a juvenile correctional officer, working with the juveniles, working at juvenile detention centers, group homes, this and that. I've never personally worked as a juvenile correctional officer, but I have friends and coworkers that have worked back in the day before they worked at the adult side. They worked with juvenile correction. And I'm going to give y'all what they told me, and I'm gonna give y'all my personal opinion as far as if you decide to become a juvenile correctional officer. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of similar, to working as a correctional officer in an adult prison. You got the same procedures, you got the same protocols as far as the main goal is the security and the safety and orderly running of the institution. You want to make sure the kids is in there. They not fighting. They not getting high. They not trying to escape, trying to harm themselves. You making sure they following the rules. That's the main goal, the main objective when you working as any type of correctional facility, whether it be a jail, whether it be a prison, supermax, juveniles, juvenile detention center, group home, halfway house. That's the main agenda right there. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide to go into it, man, as long as you stick to that, I feel like you'll be fine. Now, this is where it gets a little different, as far as dealing with kids. Like I said, I had some friends that worked as juvenile detention officers. They worked with the kids. A couple of them said they quit just because the policy is a little different from working with adults. One of them, he told me that one of them, he was actually fired because he put his hands on the juvenile. And the reason he did, because the juvenile was coming at him, trying to swing on him. And I guess, shit happens. He came at him quick. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he told me that the policy when it comes to juveniles is you can't really strike them or nothing like that. You're supposed to kind of restrain them. It's like so much red tape when it comes to the juveniles. I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. He was like, yeah, they let him go because, the juvenile was trying to punch him, swing on him, and he punched back and defended himself. It's different, working as in an adult facility. If an inmate coming at you, a lot of stuff goes out the door. They got a knife in their hand. They trying to attack you, man, trying to swing on you, punch you, assault you. You got to do what you got to do at the end of the day to defend yourself, get that inmate off of you, and get them under control. Once you got them under control, you able to call for assistance. Y'all get them in handcuffs and leg restraints. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, me personally, if I could, go the route as far as being a juvenile detention officer, if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? I had another person, he worked with the juveniles. He said it was kind of a similar situation. He's like, you can't really put your hands on them. You got to kind of hold them down or some shit, man. I'm like, man, I don't know. Yeah, that ain't the right career track for me. I'll just stick to working with the adults. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm coming on here saying that, I'm looking for smoke. I'm looking for action. I'm waiting on them to swing on me, try to assault me so I can throw the dukes, man, put their head through the wall. I'm going to defend myself, But I'm just saying, as far as like, if you can't defend yourself properly, if you got a juvenile coming at you, they trying to swing on you, they got a knife, they got a chair, something, they trying to attack you, and you can't even properly defend yourself, I feel like that's a setup for failure. But I mean, at the end of the day, somebody has to do the job, and I'm sure the people that work in juvenile detention centers, man, I'm pretty sure most of them do their job, and they do their job good. You know what I'm saying? If somebody, like I said, somebody's working in there, so I'm like, everybody, everybody's experience and career working as a juvenile officer is probably going to be different. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you want to go into it, I say go for it. What you got to lose? Yeah. I will say this, man. Even though I haven't worked in a juvenile facility, I do know this. When you dealing with young kids, 16, 17, 18. Let's just be honest, man. The youth these days, and this time and age, they got everything to prove. They don't appeal to authority. They don't listen to their elders, grown-ups, man. You see crazy shit out here, like, you know what I'm saying? Kids out here assaulting, disrespecting grown adults, elders, stuff like that. When I was coming up, I was a kid. It was like my mom, my uncles, my aunts, they raised us different. I feel like, man, it's like, I feel like it starts at home with the parents. You know what I'm saying? Because if the parents was raising the kids properly, they wouldn't even be in that predicament where they in a juvenile home and, going down the wrong path in life at such a young age. It was like when I was growing up, it was certain things like you had to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, to adults. You couldn't be in the same room as the adults when they was having grown folks conversations. You know what I'm saying? If you got in trouble with school, you was liable to get in trouble from your teacher. Then when you get home, you gonna get in trouble again with your mom or your dad. Shit like that, man. I'm from a different era. It's a lot different these days. Like the stuff my mom did, as far as discipline us, these days, a kid would be quick to call child protective services. My mom was the type, man, she'd knock you out right there in the middle of the store, and she'd be like, man, you better stop crying before I give you something to really cry about, stuff like that. I feel like some of these kids need that these days, man, because they out of control, man. They out here running and gang banging, looting stores, robbing, man, just lost, man. I'm like, I don't know what they got going on. I'm grateful I was raised how I was raised, because it instilled a lot of discipline in me. And it is still, for me to have a lot of respect for my elders and just people in general. I respect everybody. That's a universal thing, man. Even if you don't like what somebody stands for, you don't know that person, you don't necessarily agree with that person, I always respect somebody and I respect them as a person. You know what I'm saying? I never disrespect somebody. We don't got similar agreements. We can't eat at the same table. That's all cool, man. I still respect you at the end of the day, man. Respect will take you a long way in life. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide to go in there working as a juvenile correctional officer, man, you got to understand you have to be a little more patient with these kids, man, because they got everything to prove. They don't like to listen. They in gangs, shit like that, man. Depending on where you at, it's probably going to be rougher than other states. You may be at a juvenile facility center in Chicago, LA, man. It's a lot of gangs, a lot of violence in certain states, man. So, you probably gonna run into a rougher breed of kids that's locked up in there. And I've dealt with young people, it's like I worked at the county jail, right? And there was people in there that was like 18, 19, 20 years old. And I remember them. Some of them, man, a lot of them, they were knuckleheads. They don't like to listen. They want to have the last word. They trying to buck on you when you tell them to do something. They trying to show off for the unit, stuff like that. And it's like you look at their rap sheet, and it's like they just graduated from juvenile and went right into adult corrections. You know what I'm saying? It's like they never learned their lesson in life. You look back, they jacket, man, they've been getting in trouble since they was down 15, 14, 16. They was in and out of juvenile detention center. Then when they finally got 18, now they starting to get tried as an adult. They in the adult side now, so it's like a never ending cycle. You know what I'm saying? I try to help them. I try to help the youngsters. I'm like, man, you going down the wrong path, man. I know it's tough out here. I know it's like a lot of peer pressure and a lot of influence. But just look at what you doing. You crashing out for what? It's like you trying to show off for somebody that don't give a care. They don't give a fuck about you, man. You do go out here and do something stupid. You get 15 years in prison, man. They not gonna be coming to visit you. They probably not gonna be putting no money on your books, stuff like that, man. You need to get your life together. You know what I'm saying? I always try to talk to the youth, man. Because I remember when I was growing up, I could have easily went down the wrong path. And I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I grew up in the projects, and it was like people I went to school with, middle school, high school. I played Little League football with. I went to the same Boys and Girls Club, same recreation centers with. Some of them, they chose to go down the wrong path, and it's like, now we in our 30s, they'd have been to prison. 10, 15 years, you know, I was like, man, that I knew early in life that wasn't the path for me. You know, so I just stayed focused on school, football, was able to get me a football scholarship, got my degree in criminal justice. You know, I've been working as a correctional officer for 13 years, you know what I'm saying? But when you working in a juvenile facility too, man, you probably gonna wear more, hats than you do when you work on the adult side. You know, you're gonna have to be like a mentor to them. Like, you're gonna have to look at them, some of them, man, as like a little brother or a little sister. You know, they looking up to you, you know, so you gotta try to set a positive example, man. You gonna be like a counselor. You know, you're going to be like I said, a big brother, a father. You may have to be like a father figure or a mother figure, you know, educate them on stuff. You know, they locked up, man, so they don't know. They growing up in the system. They might not know certain stuff, man, like hygiene, you know, how to look for a job, taking they probably ain't got no 6th, 7th, 8th grade education. You never know, man. You know, it's like, try to do your best when you in there, man, you know, to rehabilitate. That's what we're here for. You know, that's part of being in corrections. You trying to correct their actions. And if they do get to go out there back into society, you want them to go back out as a better person than they came in. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to do. You know, I work on the adult side, but when the inmate come up to me, we having like a sidebar conversation. They about to go home. You know, they telling me what they plan on doing when they go back into the free world. You know, I always try to motivate, encourage them, and inspire them, you know, to stick to what they said they were going to do. Don't come back to prison, man. I don't want to see you here. Only time I want to see you is if you out in the free world. You know, I just happen to be out and about in the mall somewhere, man. I see you out there and we stumble across each other. We have some words and you tell me you doing good. You ain't been back to prison since you got home, you got released, man. That's the only time I want to see you. I don't want to see you back in there. You know, you can't help everybody, man. A lot of people, they end up reoffending, they come right back. Some people come in and out, but you know, you got some roses that do grow through the concrete. Some people get out and they stay out, man. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Staying out, trying to be a productive, law-abiding citizen out here in society. You know what I'm saying? But if you choose, you know, to be a juvenile correctional officer, man, like I said, man, it's like the same setup. You know, you probably gonna have like the same policy. You're gonna have to count. You know, you gotta feed them, stuff like that. You gotta make sure they where they're supposed to be at all times. Make sure they going to class. If they got a job inside the facility, make sure they going to work, education, taking their classes, GED, stuff like that. You know, and if you still unsure, man, ask somebody that's working in it, or, you know, you interested in working at a specific facility, call up there and get more information about the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the use of force policy like? You know, what's it like working around juvenile? Go on YouTube. You know, I'm not the only person that does these type of videos, you know, as far as working in correction. I'm pretty sure there's somebody else you can find online that actually works as a juvenile correctional officer. I'm just kind of giving my opinion on it, you know, and what people that I know that have worked in it. You know, I've never been inside, but I could imagine, you know, what it would be like, how I would carry myself, this and that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, if you want to go for it, at the end of the day, just go for it, man. You ain't got nothing to lose, man. I feel like it could be a good career. It could be a possible stepping stone into maybe adult corrections, probation, parole. There's so many different avenues when you work in corrections that you can go, man. I've seen people that I worked with over the years, man. They get on with the FBI, the DEA, the Secret Service. They go become police officers, parole, federal probation officer. They go work for the court system, air marshal. There's so many different avenues, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, always keep your options open, you know, keep a positive mindset and get information about it, man. Call up there. You know, don't just take my word for it. Call up to the facility, ask, can you speak to like a recruiter or a hiring, HR or somebody, man? Just get more information on it. You ain't gonna know until you make the phone call. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Body, but follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Body. But I got the merchandise for sale on my website. This is my Major Pain shirt, gym shirt right here. Did I give you permission to skip the gym, man? Check out my website. Y'all got any comments, questions, any ideas or topics for future videos? Drop a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.